Good morning, Ricky Tang here, and this morning I am going to take this bike out for a spin. It is a Mutt Mongrel 250cc, and it's my first Mutt I'm taking out on the road. In fact, possibly, well, it's been quite a long time since I've rode any sort of 250cc air-cooled road-going motorbike. Well, not hang about because I haven't got an awful lot of time this morning. I got the morning off work, so I've got to get back to work for the afternoon. So let's get on it and ride. Dinky little speedo. And here we go. Now, first impressions, the foot pegs are a lot further forward than I expect them to be. I expected my feet to be kind of a bit more below my bottom and they're a little bit forward, but not exactly cruiser forward. We're okay on that score. Well, here I am, keeping up with the traffic just about. Oh no, the van's leaving me. I'm in 5th gear. We're doing about 60. No bother. Took a little while to get there, but we're there. Now, I won't pretend that I know the ins and outs of the motorbike licensing schemes nowadays, because I'm an old fart. But you can ride this on an A2 license, and for a new bike, coming in at under £4,000, I don't think it's too bad a price. Right, can we accelerate? I'm in 3rd gear, I think, at this point. Oh, we're on our way, we're on our way! We are accelerating, we're passing stuff, come on! Oh, I don't know how much fuel I've got in the tank. There is a light for low fuel, thankfully, on the dash. It's not lit, so I'll be okay for now. Give it a bit of a razz. Get in there. I'm in top gear. About 45 miles an hour. You open the throttle. It makes a lot of noise. Doesn't accelerate very well. You just stir that gearbox. What's it like around this bend? Yeah, not bad. That feels solid enough. 3rd into 4th, throttle wide open, it's accelerating. Oh, I'm catching up a car. If there was a rev counter, I could tell you where the engine starts to come on song. Because in the lower revs it's a little flat, but then it starts to pick up after a while. Yeah, it's certainly a bit keener in the higher rev range. The suspension is on the firm side. I was quite surprised at that. Feels a bit firmer at the back than it does at the front. I'm not sure if the shocks are adjustable. But one thing that is apparent, this bike is fuel injected, as you'd probably expect nowadays. But yeah, there's a bit of a jerk as you roll on the throttle from a closed throttle. That fuel gets chucked in there as you just start to accelerate. Which, for a new rider, might be a bit disconcerting, a bit scary in the first few miles. But I think you'll get used to it. What I could perhaps say is the kind of the jerkiness is a little muted, a little calmer if you're riding slowly in 2nd gear rather than 1st gear. The speed's not too low. Now the mirrors are vibrating somewhat with the engine, but so far I've been able to see behind me without too much difficulty. But the quality of the glass on these mirrors do leave something to be desired. In fact, somehow that one's got a bit of a dent in it. So I'm not sure exactly what these mirrors are made of. I'm in 1st gear. Let's have a little bit of a racing start. That does not take that long to 60, really. I suspect most cars could outdrag you. Most modern cars, you know, with their turbos or hybrids. But it didn't feel gutless. It just feels like a small engine doing its best for you. It's no one behind me. What I'll do, just back off a bit. Got a nice gap behind me. Let's give the front brake a bit of a press once I get a bit more speed up again. Let's give him a squeeze. It takes a little while to slow down. But if you get into panic braking, then the bike does have ABS. It's not combined braking like some of the cheapest bikes on the road. I mentioned the brakes that they don't feel particularly strong, but I am two-finger braking, and it's doing a decent job of slowing me down here in an urban environment. I'll tell you what, also, I'll have to let you know about the seat height. That's a bit further up than I thought as well. Took a little longer for my feet to find the ground. And I can't quite flat foot it with my 32-inch inside leg. Right then, got a bit of uphill. With all my kit on, I'm probably weighing in at about, I don't know, 85 kilos. I'm in second gear. I'm not sure what the ratio of this road is, how steep it is. It's just about, well, it's pulling third, but the revs are quite low at this speed. But it will pull it. But if I had to drop down from 30 to 20 to 20, then I might be in trouble. Yeah. Let's get back into second. It's getting steeper. Oh, I'm going to have to slow down. Second gear, staying in second, staying in second. It's pulling it just about here at 20 miles an hour in second. Don't go any slower. It just accelerated without chugging then. And now we're up to speed in second, we're okay. And it accelerates. I'm in third, doing, well, less than 40 actually, more like 35, third gear. And it accelerates. The road's flattening out now though. Right, we'll have a quick walk around in my usual walk around spot, but I haven't got too long to do this. So yeah, time is short for me today, so I won't do a full-on walk around. Anyway, yes, 250cc, 21 horsepower. I haven't found the torque rating yet. If I can find it, I'll bang it on the screen for you. And yeah, I think a bratty style, I think that fairly sums it up. Neat little mudguard there, and quite decent looking brackets, cute looking brackets. You know, there's a little bit of thought gone into them. So yeah, disc at the front, disc at the back, this is good. We have 18-inch wheels, so we got a 4 by 18 on the front and a 4.5 by 18 on the back. It's been so long since I've used that terminology for tyres. But big old tyres, aren't they? There's some serious balloon style to these tyres. They're big old units, and kind of an old Firestone style to the tread. Kind of vintage tread on those tyres. Looking at the engine and the general style, it reminds me of a bike of my youth. I never owned it, but there was a bike called a Suzuki GN250. Slightly custom styled. But yeah, not a bad looking machine. You'll get to 70, no trouble. It'll probably get to 80 if you duck down a little bit. But it's not really meant for high speeds. Gotta get on and get going. Clutch gotta be in for the engine start. But with this 5-speed gearbox, yeah, it's pretty good at just cruising around 40-ish miles an hour. I think 5 speeds suits this engine just fine. The clutch isn't too heavy. It's yeah, I didn't expect it to be raining today. I think the weather forecast said 4% chance of rain. Look at it, what a load of rubbish. So I'm actually quite grateful I'm on a second-hand bike with 1,300 or 1,400 miles on the clock. Actually, I suppose that's kilometres. It is kilometres. So about 900 miles on the clock, so the tyres have been running. So lucky I'm not skating about on brand new tyres. This feels like a very decent low capacity commuter. I think it's quite well suited to lower speed stuff, inner city stuff, with a decent dash of style about it. Yeah, the engine pulls pretty well. Didn't feel as breathless or as flat as I thought it might. So the question really is, would I take the Mutt Mongrel out on a second date? Now you'll probably expect me to say no, and you're about right, but there are other machines in the Mutt range. I think they've all got a basically similar chassis, and if I had the opportunity to take out one of those 250s with knobbly tyres on some gravelly roads, I think I'd jump at the chance. I think that'd be a laugh. And I can't speak to long-term reliability. I don't know a lot about the Mutt range. But Chinese bikes have come a long way in the last 10 years. So, I mean, the Frasers of Gloucester has taken a chance on selling these, and they actually do sell well. And they've got no intention on stopping selling them. So these bikes are good for business as far as they're concerned. They've got a lot of bikes in stock. In fact, I should have a picture of their range in the showroom coming up. So yeah, come down and take a look. Okay, good news. The rain's dried up for a little while at least. So let's try and do some summing up. Vibration. There's a bit through the foot pegs. There's a little bit through the bars. I think if I rode for longer, my right hand might start getting a little bit tingly. But it's not as if the bike's shaking itself to bits. The smoothness is acceptable. Noise. That wasn't me. There is a nice sound out of the exhaust, I've got to be honest with you. I've got my phone running in my backpack. Let's give it a bit of a rev. Sounds alright. I like the sound of it. Let's give it another rev. Hold on. Decent sound coming out of the bike for a little 250. And the revs drop quite quick as well. I hate it when you rev an engine and it takes a long time for the revs to die off. Oh, just frustrates me, that does. But the revs drop off pretty quickly on this, so that's alright. I mentioned the clutch. Yeah, pretty light, not bad at all for a cable clutch. It's not span adjustable. I don't think anything's span adjustable, to be fair, at this price range. The gear change action is on the long side, but I can feel a snick halfway through, so it's not indistinct, it's not vague, just takes a little while to change gear. Neutral's been quite easy to find so far. Yeah, the only thing that's a bit surprising with the Mongrel really is the seat height. Now I know there are some rather short young people about. There's young people of all shapes and sizes, but I imagine if you're still like 5'2" or something, 29, 28 inch inside leg, you might struggle a little bit to get your feet down on this bike. I think there's other Mutts in the range with a lower seat. So if you're a taller youth, then yeah, this might actually be a better fit than some bikes out there. Didn't get a chance to really throw it around any bends to find out what it's like at higher speeds. But the chassis doesn't feel wobbly or vague. Like I said, firm if anything. I think if you lean with the bike, you don't really need to lean off on one of these. And don't push your luck too far going around bends. I think you'll be fine. Sketchy bends with lots of bumps, I think the bike might buck and weave a little bit, might take you offline a tad. All part of the excitement when you're young though, and exploring yourself and exploring your bike. Just don't put it in a hedge, please. Like I used to. A lot. Oh, he's going over. Let's go! I can even do clutchless changes. I'm not sure how happy the gearbox is with clutchless changes, but it's doing it. This is just bringing it back. Riding a bike like this with only 20 horsepower or so, it's not as bad as it sounds. So yeah, enjoyed the ride. Thanks for hanging out with me. See you guys in another video. Take care. Ta-da.